I know on X I posted that I wouldn't be trading, so just as I said, I won't be trading Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, but I figured I'd do a review anyways. Try to be quick about this. I'm gonna try and put out some more educational content throughout this week, and kind of just from now on in general, just trying to put just kind of trying to talk about ICT concepts and how you can use them to trade. And as always, if you want to learn them from the guy that originally made them, go look up ICT. But otherwise, I'll be going over them here. So as we can see here, we were bullish this morning with this indicator that I have here. We have the 1 hour was bullish. It's not bullish now just because of the sweep of this low, but we were bullish on every time frame, meaning I was looking for longs. And so what I was looking for was manipulation of either an order block or liquidity. And that came right here. There's this order block all the way back here, which doesn't get fully respected just because this is a strong area of consolidation on Sunday night. So Sunday night going into Monday morning. So that was to be expected. So with that, or with this order block not fully being respected, the body right here does get tapped into. This body of this candle, I typically don't use, I typically don't use just the bodies on higher time frames, but that's what that would look like. More importantly, I wanted us to focus on this sell side liquidity from this 1 hour swing low and Asia lows from the previous night before market opened. I trade on the 15-second, but with my typical strategy, I use order blocks. But with this would have just been the most ideal entry because there's no order block present. ICT strategy, especially with ICT Silver Bullet, is mainly the idea of, okay, we have an idea of where we want price to go. We want to be bullish. Where can we look for price to go to and react off of in order for us to use that to our advantage and determine where price is going to go from there. So what I use this as is I'd want to see a low get taken out, and we can get rid of that. We have this low, the sell side liquidity. It's an hourly sell side liquidity, which is what I marked out on the 1 hour. And then we have this Asia low, which is from the previous, or from like Sunday night going into Monday morning during the Asia session. And so Asia high had gotten taken out previously, but then we consolidate for a bit. And as we open them to the New York AM kill zone, right around 10:30, we drop down and we take out the sell side liquidity and Asia lows, both of which super convenient things to be taking out. This wick setup right here is ideal. We have a small wick here, a wick that goes down and takes out Asia lows, and then we respect the bottom of this wick. We don't come down, take it out again after that. That's a pretty ideal setup. With such a big candle there, the 5-second might be more realistic, or it might provide us with a better entry. Doesn't look like it, unfortunately. Yeah, just because of this setup right here. Yeah, it doesn't look like it because the lows that make our my typical strategy would be looking for a market structure shift or a change in state of delivery, typically a market structure shift, which would be right here, because this is the last swing high before our lowest low that took out all of our liquidity. So I'd look for this to be swept and then a return to an order block. And that, sure, it happens right here, which we can just go back to the 15-second because it looks like the charts are pretty similar. I typically trade on the 15-second, but what would have happened here is a market structure shift followed by a return to this order block, which doesn't happen very ideally because we'd want to see a close, and the close happens here, and then we don't return to this order block after that. So that would have been an unideal entry, so wouldn't have had much of an entry this morning. The other ideal scenario that I see is we have a suspension block. And this is ideal for me for several reasons. One, right here, and we have another suspension block. It actually extends. There's another suspension block from right here to right here. except there's no gap, so not ideal. But the reason that this suspension block is ideal is we have this fair value gap on the other side, which ends up getting inversed on this. It becomes an inversion fair value gap upon this candle for this bearish fair value gap. It turns into a inversion fair value gap right there. But the reason that this inversion fair value gap is so nice is because we have these lows right behind it. This inversion fair value gap then goes on. I can't imagine we return down to this price the rest of the day. No, we don't. It then gets inversed. So, and then it gets inversed later on. That's what results in our reversal. The idea here, though, is that because we have these wicks that come down and fill pretty much half of this fair value gap pretty actively, we would want to see it come and get filled again on the other side. This suspension block would be ideal right here because we have a suspension block with a gap on the other side with lows that respected this gap, and then we get a wick that comes down, enters the gap, respects the CE, and then we can expand from there. And then with this level right here is the 8:30 open. We want to be below that, and then our midnight. I'm trying to see where our midnight open was last night. Oh, is that our midnight open? Yeah, and then our midnight open is right here as well. So we were both below the 8:30 open and the midnight open, and we did not get that market structure shift that I typically like to see. But what we did get is we have this return, this really nice wick setup right here, where we get a wick here, a lower wick here. With this seems to be much more of a rejection candle, and then a deeper wick filling in this wick, and wicks tend to act as gaps. So, and then we get a suspension block that that forms, followed by a respect of that suspension block, which would have been a great entry. And highs realistically would have been these two highs right here. They're too smooth right here to not target those, so that would have been a great first take profit, and then this high would have been a great second take profit. That's kind of it for me today. I'm gonna go ahead and put out another video after this, going over some applications of the ICT indicator I have, and how we can use that to determine how we're going to trade. But that is it for me today. I hope you all had a good day. I may end up trading tomorrow. We'll see how it goes, depending on news primarily. I'll go ahead and check news right now just for the sake of it. Yeah, tomorrow's CPI super heavy, and news embargo, and then we have PPI the following day. Retail sales Thursday, and then nothing Friday. So Friday probably won't be an ideal day to trade, but I'm not trading Friday anyway. So we'll probably look for trades Tuesday and Thursday, but that's about it. I will see you all for the rest of the week. But yeah, that's about it. Oh, and then Friday, I didn't send anything out, but I didn't end up trading just because the entry happened so quickly. The entry that I was looking for was this entry into an order block. And we had, this thing's lagging. Here we are. We make this low, make this market structure shift here, and then a return down into this order block right here, which would have been an ideal entry. But as I was marking it out, it happened and it took off without me. So it is what it is. But I don't always love entering right at open anyways. But yeah, no, it was a good trade. I just didn't have the it happened so quick that I didn't end up entering on it. But yeah, that's it for me today. But yeah, I'll send out another video in a little bit. I will see you all then. Have a good one, guys.